Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is jadeash and in this video I'll be listing the best 5 ways to make money in Pokemon Revolution Online for you. I'll be talking about most of the sources of income in the game and the best 5 that you should be doing to become rich as fast as possible. So before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button to get notified with all the guides and videos. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to cover something every MMO player is familiar with: PvE. Specifically, repeatable NPC battles. Anyone who plays Pokemon knows that the main way of getting money in any Pokemon game is beating other trainers. So which trainers should you be fighting to make some good loot? Well, there are several NPCs spread throughout all regions that are called bosses. These boss NPCs will accept a Pokemon battle challenge from you every certain time frame. The most common cooldown for boss NPCs is 12 days, which is almost 2 weeks. The battles are carried out in normal 6v6, but the boss's Pokemon are outrageously buffed. You will need a very good strategy going into these fights to make sure you win every time. There are various boss strategy guide videos and posts on the forums explaining in detail how to beat these bosses, to ensure you make a guaranteed income from them. When you beat a boss, it will give you multiple rewards. In terms of pure cash, they will give you 30,000 Pokédollars on average, but they will also give you items such as berries, focus sashes, rare candies, and other things that you can sell or use. Most of them aren't really useful, but it's still a plus, and you can use every cent you get. Aside from that, they may give you a Pokemon. The Pokemon stats and natures are of course randomized, so there is also the chance of getting some neat cash grabs from those. The most sought after prize, however, and arguably the most important, is the 3rd consecutive win prize Pokemon. Each time you beat the same boss 3 times in a row, which is once every 5 weeks roughly, you get a chance to choose a Pokemon from a given list that has double the normal chances of being a shiny. The normal rates for encountering shinies in the wild is 1 out of 8,192, the same rate as the core games until Gen 5. The chance of the boss prize Pokemon being a shiny, however, is 1 out of 4,096, the same as the core games from Generation 6 onwards. So now you can see why bosses are one of, if not the, most prominent way of making money in Pokemon Revolution Online. Aside from bosses, there are other NPCs that you can rebattle as well to get money. Those are the trainers that you once fought going through the story of every region, the gym leaders, and the Elite Four. They don't really drop a significant amount of money, but if you do it consistently, it all adds up. Now on the topic of PvE, aside from NPC battles, another way of making money is hunting. Pro is basically a hunting simulator. In addition to shinies, you can also catch exclusive event forms for Pokemon that are only obtainable during certain events when they are running. Examples such as Halloween, Christmas, and May the 4th. These forms sell for a lot of money, especially if they are PvPable. So if you're lucky enough to be able to encounter these and you're not a collector, then selling them is a great way of creating income for yourself. Hunting doesn't just revolve around shinies and event forms though. If a new Pokemon comes out, or a certain Pokemon is being hyped for PvP or any other reason, it can also sell for a decent amount. One such example is Battlebond Froakie. Normally, you can't find a Froakie with this hidden ability in the wild. It can only be hunted for a few weeks during Halloween, so players tend to go and hunt these Froakies and sell them for huge amounts of money. And that is only one example, so always stay on the lookout for such Pokemon. One more great moneymaker in Pro that is significantly underlooked are services. There are a lot of things in Pro that you can provide a service for to help other players to complete, whether it be training EVs, leveling Pokemon, completing the Pokedex, clearing quests, or even story completion. There is always a service to be provided in Pro, and it all comes down to one thing: other players not having enough time or resources to do it themselves. You can train EVs in certain routes in every region. For Kanto, for example, it's Route 24 and Route 31 for Johto. There's also a special EV walled in Kanto above Fuchsia City that you can pay money to enter for a brief amount of time. I'll be making a specific video for EVs on a later date. The service that I wanted to talk about most, however, is story service. You are literally getting paid to play Pokemon as it was meant to be. If you're planning on providing story service though, make sure you don't trade the money yourself to your account and let the service receiver do it themselves to avoid any account troubles in case you already have 4 accounts. If you are receiving story service, make sure the person who is doing it for you is a trusted person, since account and password sharing is not recommended. By the way, little disclaimer, I assume no responsibility or liability regarding any account or password sharing, and won't be held accountable if someone steals your property or attempts to. Do it at your own risk. Number 4 is World Quests. Believe it or not, World Quests are actually very profitable. It may not be in the way you expect it to be, but hear me out. The basis of getting rich in Pro is not spending too much money, right? So imagine a way of avoiding a big money sink or doubling your boss count. Allow me to explain from the start. During World Quests, you go and hunt a Pokemon that most likely is a rare Pokemon that has an event form during events or has an expensive shiny form. That in itself can be an enormous profit. Upon completion of the World Quest, if you succeed in finishing, you get one mysterious ticket. This ticket can be used to do quite a few things, like a free subway pass for 30 days, thereby bypassing a money sink that is otherwise needed for your travels to do bosses, digs, quests, and many other things. Or you can battle 40 bosses instead of the usual 20 for a week, therefore literally doubling your boss count. Convinced now? Well, if you're still not, there's another thing you can use mysterious tickets for, accessing Guild Island, where lots of rare Pokemon are actually huntable. Unfortunately, this requires you to be in a guild and submit 20 tickets to access it for a month, so unless you can do that, it won't be worth your time much, but it's worth considering. Last but not least are daily and weekly quests and competitions. Let's begin with the daily quests. So far in the game, there are only 2 daily quests that can be done, the Celadon City and Solaceon Town quests. Celadon City quests are not worthy of doing much since they don't really give or generate any groundbreaking rewards. Solaceon, however, can be worth your time if you're able to do it consistently and get the 7th day prize. Every time you complete a Solaceon quest, you will receive better prizes until you hit 7 completions. The 7th day prizes are the real go-to rewards. You have a chance of getting an IV reroll ticket or a subway pass or extension in case you already have the pass, which are very good items that are worth a lot. You get the subway pass activated on your account right away so you can't sell it, but like I said with World Quests, you're basically avoiding a money sink, which helps you keep more money in your wallet. Other notable Solaceon prizes include Pokeballs, Ultra Balls, a Master Ball, and the dud prize for the 7th day, a silver disc. Yeah, so your efforts may or may not be all for nothing for an entire week. Anyways, aside from daily quests, there are also weekly, regularly held competitions, group bug catching contest and fishing contest. They are both held on 12 AM and 12 PM GMT on Saturdays. Winning a spot in the top 3 almost guarantees you some really good prizes, including limited cosmetics that can be sold for massive amounts, such as the Greninja Shuriken accessory. So it's always worth entering those competitions, even if you don't win, because you can still catch a rare shiny here or there and sell it to become rich. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These were the top 5 ways of making money in Pro in my opinion, which will help you get rich fast. I will be making an ultimate money guide in the future, showcasing all money making ways in the game, those that are really worth it and those that are deemed not really worth it, but then it'll be up to you whether you want to do them or not. As always, if you thought the video was helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like on the video to support the channel. Thank you so much for watching this. Jadeash signing out. Peace.